Did you know that at this very moment, in the dark basement of the White House, a secret war is unfolding that might even surpass the greatest mystery story you've ever known? Just to prepare a simple meal, 30 people are involved in a continuous 96-hour secret mission with security measures comparable to those of a nuclear missile. It will seem even more complex than high-level maintenance. Yes, the security for the president's food is no less than that of a nuclear bomb. While it might sound laughable at first, you will understand in just a moment. So let's take a look at what President Trump eats and how his food is prepared through a mysterious mission. Is prepared. At the beginning of this grand operation for President Trump at the White House, a chef in the dark basement gazes intently at a spreadsheet that looks exactly like a military strike plan. In it, it is written down to the exact minute and second which ingredients will arrive, which oven will cook which dish, and for 20 different items, that deadly accurate temperature, all of which must be ready at the exact same moment. One master chef and 29 other kitchen staff members join forces to serve the safest food in America. But before this entire madness begins, that is, before this massive operation kicks off, it all pauses for just one bird. Yes, just a single turkey. But this is no ordinary turkey. It is the most important bird in America. Right now, you can see a massive turkey walking through the polished marble lobby of the Willard Intercontinental Hotel. It is arguably the most expensive guest. The National Turkey Federation pays thousands of dollars in bills for 2 separate luxury rooms, featuring plastic sheeting on the floors, king-sized feeding stations, and dedicated staff working in shifts to ensure these birds live a royal life day and night. And this is where the real story begins. Because these are no ordinary turkeys. By the time they reach the White House, they weigh nearly 3 times more than a regular turkey, about 20 kilograms. They are genetically bred to look spectacular on camera. But the funny thing is, they can barely walk. Not only that, these birds undergo months of rigorous training so that they don't panic amidst the flash of bright lights, sudden loud noises, and the massive crowd of shouting people. This is a fascinating script. Would you like me to translate more, or perhaps help you adjust the dramatic flair of the English version to better suit a documentary style? Scared. They are even played music. Classical music keeps them calm, while some types of music make them dangerously aggressive and others leave them completely confused. But the mysterious detail that no one mentions is the presence of a Secret Service agent whose entire mission for the day is to physically examine this turkey down to the millimeter. They check under the wings to see if any secret weapon is hidden there. They inspect the legs for any sharp objects. This check isn't just for security. The real reason is much more embarrassing. After the birds leave the hotel, they are given absolutely nothing to eat for exactly 12 hours. Because if a turkey were to defecate on the president right in the middle of a live broadcast, that moment would go down in history forever. Thus, such a risk is never taken. But while the whole world gazes at this celebrity bird in fascination, the real war begins in that secret White House kitchen. At 5 a.m., the kitchen transforms into something like a high-tech crime lab and a military war room. No cooking has even started yet. Only the security checks have begun. Every single piece of food. Tiny ingredient must pass through that same ruthless security screening used only for suspicious packages sent to the president. Yes. From the very source of every ingredient used in the president's meal to its entry into the White House kitchen, rigorous testing and investigation take place. Where are the vegetables coming from? Which farm is the meat sourced from? Their entire history is scrutinized before they ever enter the kitchen. Even the background of the truck driver delivering these items is investigated. If a supplier's truck makes a single unauthorized stop while en route, that entire shipment is immediately rejected. Upon entering the kitchen, the exterior of every package is inspected for any sign that it was opened mid-transit, looking for tiny punctures or evidence of resealing. Then, they are checked with metal detectors. Following this, chemical and biological detection tests are conducted to ensure no toxic substances or harmful pathogens are present. If necessary, they even test for the presence of radioactive materials. Finally, the temperature is verified to ensure no ingredient spoiled during storage. This entire process. And only then are those ingredients transferred into the White House's own sterilized containers. Yes, the White House chefs' jobs aren't just about cooking. They simultaneously play the role of security guards. Every single dish goes through multiple stages of testing and inspection from the moment before cooking until it reaches the table. For example, the moment the president's grilled steak is taken off the stove, its temperature is measured. If it hasn't reached at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, it must go back on the heat. This is because, according to federal food safety regulations, it is essential that the meat is cooked at this temperature. In this way, the exact temperature and quality of every item, from soup and vegetables to dessert, are ensured. If a curry or soup is even slightly cooler or hotter than the ideal standard, immediate steps are taken to fix it. One chef keeps their eyes fixed solely on the president's plate at every single moment. Their job isn't just to serve, but to ensure that everything placed before the president is perfectly prepared and safe. Anyway, after this massive undertaking, when the clock strikes 2 a.m., the sound of an oven timer pierces through the eerie silence of that dark White House basement. The turkey goes into the oven. For the next 13 hours, not a single person can step foot outside this room, not even for a trip to the washroom. If the electrical power fluctuates for even a single second, it triggers a massive alarm. Another fascinating fact is that the president has to pay for his personal food expenses out of his own pocket. Yes, for families like the Trumps, the bill for the president's personal meals comes directly from the president's annual salary. At the end of the month, the White House chief usher prepares an itemized bill in the ledger. How many eggs were used? How many pounds of meat or vegetables were consumed? It's all written down. The entire account is kept clear, just like a restaurant bill. It's surprising to think about, isn't it? Even while holding the highest office in the country, he must pay for his own family's dinner. And so that the taxpayers' money is not wasted. At the end of the day, when the president's meal is finally served at the table, the entire staff still holds their breath. Trump might finish his meal calmly, perhaps offering an appreciative smile or saying, "It was great." But he may never even realize how many layers of verification and planning that simple soup or steak went through before ever reaching him. The president gets up from the dining table with peace of mind and moves on to his next task. Only then does the White House kitchen team breathe a long sigh of relief. Another day's mission has been successfully completed. However, there is no time for much rest. They immediately dive back into preparations for the next day's grand operation. Because every single one of the president's meals is a specialized mission, with a behind-the-scenes story that is just as dramatic and fascinating as this.